Okay. Hi. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Um, Hello to you anywhere you are connecting to the queue from around the world. You're welcome to the queue, the customer experience conversations. Back with me, your host, Dikpo Oyewole. All right. So, very quickly, we'll dive right into it. Have so much to do. So today we're talking about time to get proactive. And if you've been part of the queue in the last couple of weeks, or even if you're just connecting today, we've been having conversations around different pillars that form the customer experience. Of course, there are a lot of them, dozens of them, but we started off by focusing on just four. Okay, those are personalization, um, competence, convenience, and being proactive. A couple of weeks back, we looked at personalization. Uh, After that, we looked at competence, where we talked about business operators being up to date, up to code, knowing what the product they're selling or the service they're offering, knowing what it's truly about. Because if you're not competent in knowing what your organization is on about, how can you then engage customers? How can you engage customers productively? That's almost impossible. So yes, C is important that you are competent as a business operator or you work within an organization. And last week we looked at convenience. And what we took away from convenience is when we're talking about convenience in the context of the customer experience, it's about what saves the customer time and effort. Okay? Convenience within the context of the customer experience conversation is what saves the customer time and effort. So today we're looking at the fourth pillar. I'm not going to say that it's the last pillar because we're still going to be looking at a couple of more principles after now. But from the ones that we started with in the series, today we're looking at being proactive, time to get proactive within the confines and within the context of the customer experience, because that is what the queue is about. On this platform, we talk about the customer experience from both sides of the aisle, from the perspective of the customer, from the perspective of the business, of the brand, of the business operator, so that we have a balanced conversation. Because the queue is an objective platform where we just come to share relevant information that we all need to know, no matter which side of the aisle that we're operating at, so that we can both get the best out of whatever it is within the customer experience and engagement that we have, either as business operators or as customers. Okay? If you're just connecting with us, you're welcome to the queue, the customer experience conversations. Tonight, we're talking about time to get proactive. Okay? And we'll be looking at the definition, benefits, and best practices. Now, I can't promise that we'll cover everything tonight or today, and whatever we can cover today, we'll move it on to next week. But how about we start, because we're way behind time. Okay. One thing that we would need to understand is when we are being proactive with customers as businesses, as brands, as business operators, it's a very easy way to win customers over. Okay. I know we talked about personalization, we talked about competence, we talked about convenience, what saves the customer time and effort. But being proactive in itself is something that will really, really win customers over. If it's something that we're doing right, if it's something that we're doing very well, it's really easy. It's really easy to use to win customers over. And the truth is, customers today expect a lot more from brands, as they should, because either way you look at it, we have so many options to choose from. So the question is this: why do we have to engage your brand when we have several options to choose from? Why should we engage your brand? Why should we do that? Okay, so what are those clear things that make your brand stand out within the confines or within the space of the customer experience? So when you have a customer engage your business, engage your brand, what do they come out with afterwards? What is their experience? What's their testimony? What is the feedback you get from them? Okay, so yes, it is important that we realize that within the context of the customer experience, being proactive is very likely one of the cheapest ways to win customer confidence. It is very much one of the cheapest ways to win it. And today, Customers gravitate towards brands that are invested in what they want and in what they need. Okay? And it's not too much that whatever skill or whatever strata that you operate in within any sector or industry, there's no reason why you cannot provide a first class experience to your customers. Either you're selling a product or you're providing a service. Okay? There's no reason why you cannot do that. There's absolutely no reason, no excuse whatsoever. Okay? So shoppers and customers alike, today they can afford to have impossibly high expectations because they have various options to choose from. There are plenty others that they can explore. Plenty other options, plenty other alternatives that they can explore instead of exploring or engaging your brand. So the question is, why should they engage your own brand? Why is that? Why? These are the things that will make your brand stand out. These are the things that will make your brand set apart from the others. Being proactive, it is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay? So, yeah, doing something for your customers before they even know they need it. You're going to cement your relationship with them, either you like it or not. And that's really just a fact. Okay? Because, so for example, your customer is likely to run into a particular challenge and they don't even know it yet. But somehow, because they engage you, it's your product, it's your service, you're able to envisage that challenge coming and you're able to intercept it before it happens. That tells the customer that you care about them. That tells the customer that you see them. We talked about this in personalization. That's every human being, customer, or in any whatever relationship that we're at. It is important that as human beings, that we feel like we are seen, that we are heard. It is important that we feel special. This is a way that you can make your customer feel special when you are proactive. Okay? This is one clear way to make your customer feel special when you are proactive with your engagement with them. So it is very important that we understand and identify that being proactive is one sure way to have customers flock around us, flock around our business, flock around our brand. Okay? It's very, very easy. It's actually very, very cheap as well. Okay? So in today's podcast, we'll be looking at proactive customer experience, the definition of it, why businesses should care about being proactive when they're engaging customers or when providing support for customers, the benefits of being proactive in your customer engagement, and how to take a proactive approach to customer engagement. Now, like I said, I hope we're able to cover everything, but in case we can't, we'll move the rest to next week. But let's start off by the first thing we have on the list today. Okay? What is proactive customer engagement? Or what is proactive customer experience? All right? If you're just connecting, you're welcome to the queue. Remember, it's supposed to be a conversation, it's supposed to be a dialogue, it's not supposed to be a monologue. So if you're on here, you want to be part of the conversation, let us know. Look at the buttons at the bottom of your screen, and you can click on the one that sends a request to be part of the conversation. So yes, today we're talking about time to be proactive within the confines and within the context of customer experience. So the first thing we're looking at is, what is proactive customer engagement? That's the first thing we're looking at, because we need to understand what the definition is. We need to understand what it is that we're trying to address. So it is very important that we identify what that is, so that moving forward, we can be on the same page and know exactly what we're on about. Okay? All right. So proactive customer engagement means letting a customer know in advance about the problem, about the challenge, and sharing the solution you're putting in place to relieve the inconvenience. It's really simple. That's really what being proactive means. So like I said earlier, your customer is likely to face a challenge or a roadblock or a problem while engaging your product or while engaging your service, but you've seen it ahead because you're familiar with your product, with your service. You are competent. So you see how all these points and all these conversations all come together to be interwoven. Because you are competent, because you know what it is that the customer is likely to face, you are able to intercept that challenge before it happens. And that really makes all the difference for a lot of customers. It makes all the difference. So an example is this, and I'm sure a lot of us, if not all of us, can relate to this. I know I can relate to it personally. So you engage a retail brand or a vendor, maybe social media or whatever platform, okay? And you're supposed to have certain items or an item delivered to you. But for some reason, there's going to be a delay in the delivery. All right. I'm sure that you've experienced these two scenarios I'm going to put to you. First scenario, you have the business operator reach out to you and let you know that, oh, we're sorry, there's some delay with your delivery. It'll get across to you as soon as possible, especially in the case where maybe you had both agreed on a particular time that you'll be at the delivery location, or maybe because you need it for a particular reason. Excuse me. But for some unforeseen circumstance, they cannot meet at that time. They cannot meet that time, or they cannot make that location. But they call in advance to say, "Oh, we're sorry. We're having some technical difficulties. We're having some issues with logistics. The delivery will take a little longer than we expected. Or do you have an alternate location where you can receive the item or the items?" I'm sure some of us, or a few of us, have experienced this particular one. The next scenario, I'm sure a lot of us, if not all of us, have experienced it, where you're expecting a delivery from a particular business or a particular brand, and then there's a challenge with the delivery or with whatever process that ensures that the whole thing gets to you smoothly, and then you don't hear from them. And then the agreed time passes, and then you're the one that is getting to call them frantically to ask questions. And in some cases, I mean, you call them, they don't even respond. They don't even answer. You send messages, you're in their DMs, they don't even engage you. They're not even bothered. I mean, I've had personal experiences, a lot of experiences with with business operators like this, where there's a challenge with the delivery after an agreed upon time, and then for some reason there is a change in that plan, where I've had to call and engage a particular business operator, send messages, made calls, and for, I'm not trying to exaggerate, I think maybe like for 4 to 6 hours, I didn't hear anything from them. And the package hadn't arrived, and this was something I needed very urgently. It was very time sensitive. And then when they came on, they couldn't even really salvage the situation by saying things that were meaningful to a customer. I'm sure a lot of us can relate with this. Of course, you're very sure. Of course, I definitely will not be engaging that brand again for any reason. Even if they have knockoff prices, even if they are giving huge discounts, even if they are giving products for free, I will not be engaging that brand for any reason in particular, not any longer. But we've had brands, businesses, business operators where their products get delayed even longer than that period. But because they've been able to use their initiative, because that's really what it is, they've been able to use their initiative, their gumption to say, okay, you know what, let's put a call through to this customer to let them know that there's going to be a delay. And then intermittently, they communicate, either by sending a message or by placing a phone call through to say, oh, we're sorry about the delay. We're sorry about the mix-up. We're sorry about this. That is what it means to be proactive with customers. We're talking about being proactive within the confines of the customer experience or customer engagement. That is what we're talking about. It's really that simple. And it's quite unfortunate that we don't get to see a lot of this with various brands and various businesses. And the interesting thing is the ones you see this kind of lapse with the most are very small businesses that need all the customers they can get, that need all the money they can make, that need all the opportunities. But you see them not handling the entire thing around the customer experience, not taking it seriously. And then they're wondering why they have stayed small. You stayed small not because of lack of access to capital, not because of lack of access to opportunities, but because you're not taking your customers seriously. That is why you have stayed small. And that is why you will stay small. It's really just that simple. Because as businesses, as business operators, we just have to do better. We have to do better. It will cost you nothing to be proactive when you're engaging your customers. It will cost you nothing. Just be proactive. Communicate. That is really what it's about. Effective communication. And like we've said, or like we say every other week on the queue, effective communication makes the difference in everything, in every relationship. Either it's personal, either it's professional. Effective relationship, effective communication makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. Communicate effectively with the customer. Oh, we're sorry we're having this challenge. This is what's going on. Please bear with us. Oh, please, with your next purchase, we'll try to make up for it. The next purchase, you throw in maybe a small item. That customer will definitely stick with you. They will definitely stick with you. And they won't just stick with you, they will get other customers for you. That's how to engage customers. It's really that simple. It's really, really that simple. It's really that simple. And in the end, it's typically about who makes the first move. That's what the entire proactive conversation is about, really. It's about who makes the first move. If the customer makes the first move where there is likely a challenge, because by the time the customer makes the first move, by the time the customer reaches out to you, the challenge has already come. Okay, it's here already. I don't think there's any way the customer will be able to anticipate the challenge coming or the problem or the issue that they will be facing. By the time they're reaching out to you, that hurricane or tornado has already made landfall. It's really just that. The alternative is that before that happens, you reach out to them. You reach out to them. Reach out to your customers and let them know, oh, we understand that you're engaging this product. Oh, XYZ, this is how you go about it. This is how you have it put together. If you require any technical support, please reach out to us. Let us know. That's how it should go. There's a problem with getting their products across to them. Let them know on time, not when they started to call you immediately. There's a problem with rectifying a challenge that they've come to you for. Something that's within the purview of your organization. Let them know. If you're working on it, it will take 10 minutes, it will take 15 minutes. Let them know. Not them having to ask you again 10, 15 minutes after that what's going on. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's talking to me. And then you tell them, oh, we're sorry, we're working on it and all of. No, that's not how to go. That's not how to do it. Let your customers know in advance. That's what it means to be proactive. You have to be the one to initiate the conversation when we're talking about being proactive. That's really what it is. Who bells the cat? You should bell the cat. Yeah, you should bell the cat. As a business operator, you should bell the cat. And erring on the side of being proactive, okay, and putting customers first will only improve your brand's reputation, either you like it or not. And invariably to boost your bottom line. Because these things they're really cut and dry, really. It's just an A to B to C situation. You are proactive with the customer is satisfied, the customer comes back to engage your business. On some level, that same customer comes back, they come back with other customers to engage your business. That invariably improves your bottom line. It's really just that simple. I really don't understand why a lot of business operators just do not realize this. If your business has a reputation for not taking customers seriously, People talk. People will always talk, whether it's positive or it's negative. People talk, and they will talk, because you also cannot stop them from talking. You can't. So people talk. So understanding that reputation of your organization, of your brand, of your business is on the line. Be proactive. When every single time when a customer engages your brand, or different customers engage your brand, and what they get to hear, or what they or the feedback they have in common. I mean, total strangers. The feedback they all have in common is that there are always issues with your brand, and you're never proactive. Nobody's going to engage your business. That's the truth. That's the truth. And the survey that was conducted a while ago, 60% of brands reported an increase in sales when they improved customer engagement. 60%. 60% in sales. 60. So imagine not having that boost. A whole 60%. You'll have been missing out on that, and you'll have been complaining that you were small. If you were small because of that, you do deserve to be small. And you will be small. Because there's really no way you will not be small if that's how you engage customers. If you engage customers otherwise. 60% increase. 60. 60%. That's a lot. Ask any business operator what 60% of sales means to their bottom line. 60%. Okay? So next we'll move on to why get proactive with customer support. Why should we be proactive in customer support within the confines of the customer engagement, the customer experience? Why should we be proactive? Why do we need to be proactive? Do we need to be proactive? I say yes, but don't take my word for it. Let's find out why. We're still having a conversation on the queue today, talking about time to be proactive. So now we're asking, why get proactive? Do you need to be proactive? Let's find out why. Okay? I'm sure a lot of us know, either you're a customer or you're a business operator, that today, in the world that we live in today, we live in customer-centric times. Yeah, we live in customer-centric times. Everything revolves around the customers. Brands that put their customers at the center of everything, they see better results. They get better outcomes. It's really just that simple. It's really just that simple. They get better outcomes. They get better outcomes. We discuss this over and over again. They get better outcomes. They get better results. 60% of sales is a lot. That is better result, better outcomes. Okay? So it is important that we have a customer-centric approach to how we run our businesses, how we run our brands, and it only shows when we engage our customers. It's not enough for you to say you are. It's when you engage customers that we know if that's the truth. That's when we know. It's not in what you say or how you say it. It's in what you do and how you do it. That's what the customer experience is about. It's about actions, not what you claim your brand to be. It's about actions. And do your claims, do they match your actions? And the feedback and the testimonies of your customers, do they match what you say that you do? That is how we measure the true strength of your customer experience. That is how we measure the true strength of the customer engagements that you have in your business, in your brand. That is how we measure it. That's why personalization is so important. And we talked about personalization a couple of weeks ago. That's why it's so important. And why customers identify more with brands that make them feel special. Brands that believe in the same issues as they do. That's why they identify with those brands. That's why they engage brands like that. That's why customers want a connection with the businesses they give their money to. Because either way we like it, a sale or a purchase on a certain level is typically an emotional decision. It's not always logical, even when it is about getting the necessities. Okay, there are certain things that maybe you need to buy because they're necessary for you to buy. You need to buy food items because you need to eat. You need to want to cook. You need to eat. You don't want to cook. You need to buy food so you can eat. But the question isn't about why are you buying the food. The question is why are you buying it where you're buying it? Out of all the options that are available to you for you to buy that food, where you buy your foodstuffs, where you do your grocery shopping, why do you engage that brand, either they're named or not? Why? Because you mostly always have options. So the question is, why do you engage that brand? Why? On some level, there's an emotional response to it. There's an emotional reason behind it. And that's something that a lot of brands also need to identify to see how they can maximize. There's always an emotional angle to it. There is. There is. Okay? Customers want a connection with the businesses or the brands that they give their money to. And they also want to feel special. Okay? And they made their preference for proactive customer support very, very clear. There is barely a customer that you talk to or you'll engage, either in a conversation or in a survey, that will say they don't like proactive engagements with brands that they buy from or that they give their money to. There's barely anyone. There's barely anyone. And it's very clear. It's very, very clear. That is what customers want. So how about you give customers what they want? Instead of what you think that you need to give them. Give customers what they want. Because don't give them what they want, they don't give you what you want, which is money. Give them what they want, they give you what you want. It's a fair exchange. In the end, that is what business is, an exchange of value. That's the value they get, what they want. They want you to be proactive, they want you to be competent. They want convenience, they want personalization, they want other things. That is what they want. Give them what they want, they give you what you want. It's really simple. So the question is, if you're not getting from them what you want, have you looked to say, are you giving them what they want? Could that be the reason why you're not getting what you want, which is money, which is more sales, more revenue? Could that be the reason why you're not getting it? Think about it. Think about it. Could that just be the reason why you're not getting it? Could that just be the reason? Because you're not giving them what they want, so you don't get what you want either. Nobody just gives you money for free that way without providing a service. As a brand, that's not going to happen. It's not. It's not. This in turn helps ensure customers feel special, since the focus is on what your business can do for them. Because if you can't do for them what they want, then why are they engaging you? Why don't they go somewhere else? I'm sure there are other businesses that can do for them what they want. And in some cases, give them what they need. If you're not going to do it, they'll go somewhere else. Why should they stick with you? In the end, they're not getting anything from you anyway. So why are they sticking with you? They'll go somewhere else. That's just the truth. In a study by InContact, customers have a positive view of proactive support. So much so that 87% of customers that were surveyed said they were happy to be contacted proactively by companies regarding customer engagement issues. 87% said they were happy. Now, You may not be able to totally convert the whole 87% into sales or revenue, but you can bet that a good portion of that 87% will translate into making good sales. They will. And 75% of them who had a pleasant surprise or positive experience with an incoming call reported a positive change in their perception of the company calling them, of the brand calling them, of the business calling them. They had a positive perception of the brand. In branding, we say perception is reality. So what perception do people have of your business? What perception do they have of your brand? Is it positive? Is it negative? Are you doing what you need to do to ensure that that perception is positive? Or you're not bothered, so the perception is negative? Is that what is going on? Is that what you're doing? Where the perception you're getting from customers, from clients, is not necessarily positive because you're not doing what you need to do to ensure that it is positive, because you're not being proactive. Is that what's going on? And when it comes to customer engagement best practices, if you're not running a proactive approach to supporting customers, you might be missing out, and you're definitely losing out. Now, you might be missing out, but I'm telling you for a fact, you are losing out. You are definitely losing out. And unfortunately, with a lot of businesses, we aren't always able to measure or quantify losses within the context of non-engagement. We're only typically able to quantify it when maybe we have X amount of customers or clients or consumers that engage our brands, and then they have decreased by a certain number or a certain percentage. That is when we're able to adequately quantify. But in most cases, there's actually more to that number. The ones that don't even bother to engage you at all, because of the ones that you've been able to quantify. They've gone ahead to spread the news because they have a negative perception of your brand. So unfortunately, we're not able to quantify those within the context or within the confines of losses or the businesses that we have missed out on, or the revenue that we missed out on. Unfortunately, we're not able to adequately quantify it, which is why I believe a lot of businesses and a lot of brands are also a bit lackadaisical with how they engage the whole customer experience conversation. And it is quite unfortunate. It is quite unfortunate. Okay? Now, the benefits of proactive customer experience. Now, being proactive when it comes to how your business approaches customer experience has many benefits. It really does. Because number one, avoid turning problems into painful pain points. I'll take that again. Number one of the benefits of proactive customer experience is you avoid turning problems into painful pain points. Taking a proactive approach to a customer experience means you can catch niggling problems before they grow into big, impossible to overcome pain points. You deal with something when it's this size, not when it's this size. That's the best time to deal with it, when it's little, not when it's grown roots, become a very serious threat. That's when you then decide to attend to the challenge. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Okay, coasting home, because we're coasting home now, saves customers a huge amount of time. And remember what we talked about last week about convenience. What is convenience within the context of the customer experience conversations? What saves your customer time and what saves your customer effort? That is what convenience is. What saves the customer time and effort? Now, being proactive also does that. It saves customers a huge amount of time. Because proactive customer engagement means anticipating customers' needs and actively reaching out with a solution. So you don't have to wait till they have the challenge, then they contact you, then you start to prefer the solutions. All of that has been cut down. It's been cut back because they didn't even have the challenge in the first place, because you have engaged them. You were proactive. That's how to do it. And this, whether it means you communicating a potential problem that's cropped up or allowing customers to self-service their issue, the important thing is this: you are proactive. That's the important thing, and they'll definitely appreciate it. They'll definitely appreciate it. Now, reaching out before a customer is often even aware that they have a problem saves them valuable time and energy. Valuable time and energy saves them a lot of time and energy, and it essentially helps them tap into the value your business is offering that much quicker, because then they see that, okay, I think these guys are offering actual value. They're offering actual value and not just trying to market something to me or tell me that, okay, they're selling something, or they're providing a service, or they're selling a product. No, because that exposes them to the actual value that your business is on about. It really does. It also helps you to build customer loyalty and to also retain customer loyalty. Two-pronged approach. It helps you build customer loyalty, being proactive. It helps you build customer loyalty. It also helps you retain customer loyalty. Remember the example we gave before of engaging a retailer, of engaging a vendor, where they're having challenges getting your items delivered to you on time, within the time frame that was given. And we gave two scenarios: the business operator that refused to communicate and will not be having my business again, and the other one that bothered to communicate and I have been doing business with. It's really just that simple. You win customer loyalty and you retain it. And you don't just retain customer loyalty, you also let them have other people on board with them. Customers bring other customers along. Same way customers keep other customers away. It's just the same way. It's the same thing. Whether it's positive or it's negative, it's the same thing. And with so much choice, with so many choices available, it's even harder for consumers to remain loyal, because they have all sorts of options. They have all sorts of alternatives. Especially if a brand is letting them down in some way. Why should they be loyal? Why should they be loyal? Because there are other brands that are courting them for their attention, that are courting them for their business, courting them for their money. So why should they remain loyal to you when you're not treating them well, when you're not being proactive, you're not making it look like you care about the entire customer engagement or customer experience? Why should they remain loyal to you? You have no reason to. And implementing proactive customer experience protocols will allow you to build loyalty through amazing experiences. It really will. And it really, really will. It really will. And we have to understand this as brands and business operators. It helps you build a lot of loyalty. Amazing experiences. Opens up amazing opportunities that you have no idea that they'll be coming from that. Amazing opportunities. In fact, a report by Nkata found that taking initiative in the support you provide for customers can increase customer retention rates by 3 to 5%. So imagine you retain 3 to 5% of the customers that come in contact with your brand every week. What do you think that comes to in a fiscal year? That is a lot. That is how to grow your business. Be proactive. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but over time, you'll find out that it adds up to a lot. Little drops make an ocean. You realize that it does add up to a lot. It really does add up. And you'll be surprised that some customers can be responsible for a dramatic increase in your revenue. Some customers can. It can be responsible for it. for dramatic increase in your revenue. You'd be surprised. Either from direct purchases by themselves or by the other business that they bring your way. From them sharing their experience with your brand, which is very likely positive. So you would be surprised. Okay? So it's important that you get valuable customer feedback and make better decisions. Now, this is going back to what we talked about. We talk about it almost every week, really on the queue. Talking about getting customer feedback and how important it is to get customer feedback. It is of utmost importance. Without feedback, you can't make informed product decisions. You can't create resources that will solve common problems without needing to involve your agents or your staff or your operators. It is important that you get feedback. Get feedback. Know what the possible challenges are. Know where the possible issues are going to come from and tackle them head on before they happen. Tackle them. Do that. Tackle them. Okay? Now, you lower the need for support calls. Now, a reactive customer experience model needs agents. That's a reactive one, where the customer always calls to complain or sends a message to complain, and then you have folks that have to always react to that complaint. Okay? But if you're working with a proactive model, then it gets easier, it gets better. And you also don't necessarily need to have as many anyway, because you'd be dealing with those issues before they even happen. So you don't get to have a lot of reactive engagements because you have been proactive before. So you get ahead of customer conversations. Customers will talk about your brand with friends and family. There's nothing you can do about it. There is nothing that you can do about it. They will talk. People talk. People always talk. It's our nature to talk. Behind closed doors, in public, they will talk about you on social media platforms. They'll talk about you online, offline, everywhere. Now, it's up to you to figure out if what they're saying about you is good or if what they're saying about you is bad. Is it positive or is it negative? That's up to you. You decide. And what decides that is how you engage them. That is what informs the part of the spectrum that whatever they're saying falls in. Either it's good or it's bad. Okay? The last point that we're making for tonight, talking about it's time to be proactive and being proactive with regards to the customer experience conversations or with customer engagement, is that you create advocates and brand ambassadors. We talked about this, I believe, a couple of weeks back, that you get to have certain customers that they invariably become your unpaid marketers. They become your brand ambassadors. They're the ones that be shouted from the rooftops that, you know what, this particular brand is good. You should patronize this brand. Should buy their products. You should engage them with their services. They are a fantastic brand. That is part of the things that being proactive can get you. That is part of the things that it can get you. You get brand ambassadors. You get advocates for you, for your business, for your brand. That is what happens. That's really what happens. And according to research, happy customers will tell at least 3 people about their experience. Unhappy ones will tell at least a dozen, whether you like it or not. But happy people will tell 3. So how about you engage those 3 and then they leave happy and then they tell another 3? That's 9. You see how that works? So you can even use the mentality, let me say the mentality, or maybe the spirit of a pyramid program to evaluate how well your business is doing. We just said a happy customer will tell 3 people. So let's assume those 3 people engage your business. They leave happy. Those 3 people tell 3 more people. You see how it works? And then they tell more people, and then they tell more people, and then they tell more people. That is how it works. And that is how it is to build sustainable businesses, to build sustainable brands using the tool, the pillar of being proactive in customer experience. Okay? Hope you've been having an amazing session today. We're wrapping up now. And of course, on a final note, you know how we close. On a final note, remember, no matter the side of the aisle that you are, stay agile as a customer, keep your expectations reasonable, get value for your money. We always say this every week, get value. Get value for your money. It is important that you get value, get good value for your money. And as a business, strive to meet those expectations that your customers have. Because that is one way that you can be sure that they'll have positive or good customer experiences, and then you get positive feedback. And then they become advocates for your brand. They become brand ambassadors for your brand. That is how it works. Give them the value that they seek. Give them the value that they pay for. And I believe that together we can improve the customer experience engagement the way it should be. Till next week on the queue, I remain yours truly, Dipo Oyewole. And of course, as always, you want to catch up on the previous episodes, including today's episode, you can check our YouTube channel, The Q Podcast, the CUE Podcast. You can also check on our podcast channels, The Q Podcast, the CUE Podcast, on Podbean and Apple Podcast. Again, I remain yours truly, Dipo Oyewole. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have an amazing, amazing time ahead. Till next week, same time, same place. Remember to like, share, and subscribe on our platforms. Same time next week. See you. Bye-bye.